All right, everybody, welcome to Knox Makers. It is Tuesday. You know what that means. It means we're going to do a show and share. We have a little sign-up sheet that people signed up, some things to show, and so we're going to go through the list. First up is David Martin showing an Arduino, ASISB, and a bunch of numbers.
So I said about a year ago, or maybe two, starting to get embarrassing, how long it took to get this stupid thing to work. But I got to reading about, I was playing with Arduinos, and I accidentally came across, oh yeah, there's this other processor. This is what people used to use before Arduinos existed, and they were 8051s. But now lots of people make 8051 clones and put different like EEPROM memory and RAM in it and everything. And it's way better than the old 8051s because you can treat it almost like an Arduino if you can get it to program. So the object lesson then is that you can definitely find out how to program one of these Atmel 89S52 microcontrollers using an Arduino as an ISP. Don't ask me what ISP stand for. I don't know, but it means it can program the something else. The practical upshot of all this is that most of the places on the web that tell you how to do this are wrong. That is not how you do it. The 8952 profile isn't even in the Arduino ISP, what am I trying to say? AVR dude, which is the name of a console program that takes the compiled code and pushes it over if you have something to program the chip with. That this thing isn't in the list. You have to find one that has it in it. Well, that took months. And then the other thing that was a red herring was that only one of the places I found told me about this 10 microfarad capacitor, which keeps it in reset long enough so that it can program. It's like crazy important. And almost all of them don't have that in it. But it really wants that. It says, I will do anything you want, but I demand a 10 microfarad capacitor. I'm glad that didn't fall on deaf. The other piece of this I found out was there's this EA pin that means it can talk to external memory. It uses up all your ports, but it can do it. And they can't make up their mind whether that's on pin 30 or whether it's on pin 31. And about half of them had it on 30. And the only thing that must have saved them is that it would float high, because that's an artifact of how the chips work. They'll tend to float high. You're supposed to tie it, so you don't have to depend on that. But it means half of these guys, it shouldn't have worked. Maybe they got it to work. I don't know what they did. But 31 does a different thing than 30, and 31's the one you want. So all of this has done nothing at all to make me less suspicious of everything in the world. I was cynical already, but dang. Don't tell me the sky's blue, I won't even go out to check because I know you're lying. It's probably night. Anyhow, I did finally get the thing to work, and the 1 in 4 LEDs will flash, and this thing I'm kind of proud of. I got tired of wiring LEDs to proto boards. It's just stick that thing on there and go on your merry. You don't have to live like that. An extra 9 connections or 12, I guess, that could wiggle or get flaky. No, make one of those guys. I could make a cottage industry out of this whole thing. I would just sell these little 4-bit LED things on eBay. I should, in fact, or better yet, get somebody in China to do it. But no, won't. So, questions? I've probably been really confusing. Sure.
What's this thing supposed to do?
In this, the whole point of this is to be able to compile a program like in C or assembler, get it down to bytecode, hex code, and then use the Arduino as a programmer, something that has a serial port, so I can send it from the computer through the let's call it an ISP, why not, and program the chip. That was the whole thing. That's not even close to the 2 minutes and 7 seconds that I wanted my waffles to cook for, and have a button that I could just push to replace the $5 one on the refrigerator. That was my whole point. But I'm so doggone thrilled that I got even just an LED to blink after all this time that I just had to show you. What's the other question?
That was my question.
Oh, okay. Well, at least nobody asked me why. So that's my great story, and I'm so glad. Question?
All right.
One last question. How would somebody program those without that?
You can actually buy commercial programmers, and you can, there's ways to do it, but I've already got probably a couple of these or more of these Arduino Uno R3s, and I just couldn't make myself buy a programmer. That's held me up for decades, actually, is when I thought I was going to have an EEPROM programmer, and I set about figuring out how to make an EEPROM programmer, and then I priced EEPROM programmers, and, well, I never had that much money floating around. So this is, it doesn't look like much, but it kind of is to me.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Today I learned the internet doesn't always tell the truth. Who knew? All right, next up is Amy with some denim shorts.
So it's what it says on the tin. I made a pair of denim shorts. I had a pair of denim shorts that I bought in 8th grade. I wore every single summer for 12 years. They were from Forever 21, so it's shocking that it lasted that long. But maybe 1 or 2 summers ago, they completely fell apart. So it started fraying at seams like this. This is like the bottom cuff. It used to be rolled up, so this is like the very bottom cuff of the shorts. I was like, I can live with that. Maybe I should patch it, but also, it's not like my butt's hanging out. It's just the bottom fringe anyway. I'm gonna I'll let it be. It's fine. And then, like I said, maybe last summer, the summer before, it tore so bad that this was hidden under the seam. So basically, this is my left butt cheek was basically hanging out. Is I guess the short version of that. It completely tore, and I thought, I can't fix this, and I can't wear that. I do not want to get in trouble for indecency. And I was really bummed because these shorts fit me really well. I find it really hard. I'm sure a lot of people relate. It's so hard to find pants that fit. I find it especially hard to find shorts that fit, which is why I had the same pair for 12 years, despite buying them in 8th grade. And then, I couldn't find any that I liked quite as much that fit right. And I did not want to spend the money anyway. Well, you can't really zoom out all the way. I made a pair with denim that I found back in the fabric section because there's just a bunch of stuff there. It's not very thick denim, but that's the same as here. I don't want very heavy denim for the summer anyway. But yeah, it's a little bit messy if you look at the details. This is good use of the camera. These don't perfectly line up. There's a few seams that are like, this was coming apart. I had to like hand stitch it because I didn't catch this layer right here very well. This is not going to be a very long list of all the little things that are wrong, I promise. But yeah, there's like a couple scenes where I didn't leave very big seam allowances. So rather than like doing a fell seam, I just had to cover it. But it's still stable, so it's fine. It's clean edge, there's nothing showing. And the last thing was, I don't know what, so I recreated my favorite shorts by taking apart all the pieces of these shorts. I mean, as you can tell, these are the original shorts. I took every piece apart. Maybe this is a little too close, actually. And when I traced the waistband, I'm not sure if I made some sort of mistake when I reassembled and like remembering how they go together, but the length of the waistband piece, like this piece right here, stopped exactly at the edge of this piece right here. This is a separate piece. And the thing is, it matched up so perfectly that I don't think I measured wrong. I think there was something weird about how I reassembled everything. But rather than like coming back in, getting more fabric and cutting out a whole new waistband and all that, I just took another scrap that I had brought home with me, and I just made this little extra piece. But you know, after I button it, it's mostly not visible anyway. So yeah, anyway, those are my shorts. Questions, I guess.
All right, thank you, Amy. Next up is Devin with a silk jacket? Jacket. Yeah.
I just can't spell really right. I prefer to just write on my over here. Hi. Long time no see. Life's been life. If y'all don't know me, I'm a huge history buff. And something I like to do is I like to take pictures of clothes that no longer exist. So they don't exist anymore. There's just a tomb picture of it, and that's it. And I kind of have to guess what it actually looks like. So this is based off of a tomb mural from like 600s in Korea. It's called the Susanri Tomb, and it's in North Korea, so it can never go. But anyways, so this is called modernly a Jagori, Jeogori in romanization. And it's made out of silk, and this one has been through quite a lot. So what I did first was I made a pattern, as you totally should always do, wink, wink, when you make things right. And so I made it out of linen, some very cheap linen. And I wore it around for like 3 months to see if it was gonna work or not. And then tore it apart to make this one, which I made out of silk that I bought from New York, because apparently I go to New York City and decide I'm gonna go to the silk stores, not to, the normal stuff. What I love about doing this is that it's very much, you kind of have to guess what's gonna happen, and you have to kind of guess like, based off of things. So like you look at loom widths from the time period and go like, well, the biggest loom was like 30 inches, so I have to make sure none of the panels are bigger than 30 inches. That's like the weird stuff, right? And so I finally made it. And you want to know something really awful is that this used to be white. And I made the mistake of getting very impatient and throwing it in with something blue. And so it came out with like these huge blue splotches on it, and I like moped around for days going like, I've spent so much time on this, what am I gonna do with my life? Is there even any worth in doing anything ever again? So that's when I was like, okay, reconfigure everything. So I bought indigo and did an indigo vat and dyed it blue over everything, and it turned out pretty well, actually. There's no blue splotches anywhere anymore. I I did prefer it when it was white, but I gotta say that I like coffee too much and it was never gonna be white for long. But now, since I have made it, and I have my pattern, I can make like 20 more of these, even though I only ever need one more ever again. And that is it, I think. But I could try it on, actually. So I configured it specifically because depending on what class you were when you wear this, and this is supposed to be like kind of baggy. If you were higher class, you would kind of meet your hem right here and tie it. If you were lower class, that you actually did work for a living, you would kind of do it more like this. And that's it, basically. Yes.
You said you did the linen pattern in Memorial for a few months. Did you make any adjustments from that based on your
Yeah, I definitely made the cuffs and the hems and everything a lot thicker, like a lot wider. That's the word for it. I made them a lot wider. I also made it longer. I also learned something about myself after I'd already made this, is that apparently this side is just a little bit taller than the other side, and you know, this bicep is just a little bit bigger than the other bicep. So don't be me and think that you can just take apart your jacket and use half of it and use it for both halves. It doesn't quite work that way, and if you ever get into like the fitted jacket making, you're gonna have a bad time. Yeah. Turns out almost everyone has like different side widths and stuff. So I know that y'all didn't want to know that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. What's once was is again. All right, last up on the list is Tracy with Garden Hat Repair. Yeah.
Hi guys. I forgot my camera, so I can't show you what I've done, but I'll try and explain it. This was a 2 or 3 year old garden hat I had. You know, the kind that kind of last forever, but they start to droop, and then they just cover your head entirely, and it's really hard to garden like that. But I couldn't, I just couldn't let go of it. I wanted to do something with it and to repair it. And today I was going through some sewing stuff, and I thought, and I found the old frame that I had made with wire mesh for constructing my own hat, just that never made it anywhere. I didn't finish it. So I had this rim along here, right here, that could slide right over the top of my garden hat. And so I thought I'd give it a try, see what I could do to, support my hat by pulling it up on that rim. And it worked pretty good. I don't know if you can see inside, there's that wire mesh. Right there, it's, obviously, larger than the actual top of the hat, but, you can stick stuff in there. Like this little bird that I cut out of an old t-shirt that I liked, but the t-shirt was not gonna fit anymore. So I just cut the bird out and, sewed some of this black fabric on the back, and I think I went over it with like a dry brush, some paint over it to brighten it up a little bit. But get back to the hat. This is just an old t-shirt, another old t-shirt or button-up shirt, I think it was, that I just had cut up into pieces and just didn't, had it in the junk pile. And then I just started hot gluing it around there. And so now that it's tacked in place, I can go back and, pull it a little bit tighter with some stitches wherever, where it needs to go. And I don't know, it still works. So but it holds itself up now. It's not drooping.
I really like this theme we have of repairing and bringing back things to life. That is it for our list. Does anybody else have something to share real fast? Going once, twice. All right. We have a few classes on the schedule in the next couple weeks. Tonight, after show and share, we're going to have a talk on autonomous vehicles. I believe Rhubarb is giving that, right? And so after show and share, we're going to break just for a few minutes and get set up, and then we'll have a talk in here about that. Rhubarb will teach us all about that. This Friday is an embroidery off class, but it's sold out. Small alterations and mending is on Saturday at 1. I believe there's tickets for that one, right? Yes. And so I believe Thea's leading that one. So come to that. There's another embroidery off that's sold out on Thursday. 2 weeks from now is our next new member onboarding. We do that every 2 weeks. That's a requirement if you're interested in becoming a member. Learn more about how we do things and why we do things. Everyone is welcome, but especially if you are interested in membership, you will need to catch one of those. And the next one is in 2 weeks, right in here. On announcements, this past weekend we did the Maker Experience corner of the Dogwood Arts Festival. Knox Makers had an amazing showing, really great workshops and demos. It was really wonderful and fun time, really successful too. I saw some of you all out there, but I really wanted to say a real big thank you to everybody that took part in that. And I said a big thank you on the Matter Most about that, but I did not mention, and I want to point out Larry, who did probably more work than just about anybody this past weekend, and big thank you to him for that. That is all that I have. We're going to break for a few moments here, set up for the next talk. Please come back and listen to Rhubarb talk about autonomous vehicles. And so we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Yay.